All right. Next up. Jeez. Chargers 6, Patriots nothing.
It's so bad.
This game is ugly. This game is how I feel.
Good
The
grief, Justin
Chargers
Herbert.
somehow stay in the playoff hunt at 5-7. The Patriots are 2-10. And I didn't realize how many of these ugly teams are still in the playoff hunt till I was doing something the other day and realized that 5-7, the Chargers are still in it. I was going through and I decided that because we're gonna have some downtime for the playoffs, right? Like once the fantasy playoffs end, we don't have as much
Yeah.
content. So I'm gonna do a fantasy court series where I'm gonna find someone who's a fan of each team that made the playoffs, and they have to argue with someone who doesn't like that team as to why they are a legit Super Bowl contender. And so I made a list of because I wanted to start recruiting who I wanted for each team, and I'm looking, I'm going, holy shit, there's like conceivably 15 teams that are in this hunt on each side. Like there's only one team really eliminated. Like New
Mm-hmm.
England wasn't on the list, but I was like, oh my god, LA's 5-7, and they're still like one game out of the seventh wild card, which I forgot was a thing. I forgot that they did that. But
Yeah,
all
because they
right,
have
well,
one
let's get
game
back
now.
into this game. Not a great game. We thought the quarterbacks were bad in the last one. Check out this one. Justin Herbert killed me everywhere. 212 yards, -5 yards rushing. Bailey Zappi, 41 yards and 16 yards rushing. Barf on both ends. What the hell is wrong with Austin Eckler? I do not know. We'll get into that in a minute. He had 14 carries for 18 yards and 2 catches for 9 yards. You can't pay for efficiency like that. Another one of my waiver wire ads here is Zeke Elliott. Ramondre left with an injury, and I think he's out a couple of weeks. He had 9 for 39 and a fumble lost. Zeke had 17 for 52 and 4 for 40 through the air. I also have Kevin Harris here on my waiver wire stash because I think he's probably the freshest of the bunch. He was on the
Yeah.
practice squad, still is. I don't know if he still is. He might not be now, 3 months, but um, I don't know. I'd rather stash him. I know what Ty Montgomery is. I'd rather just
Mm-hmm.
stash him. So the receivers, none were great. We had three who were salvageable. Keenan Allen goes 5 for 58. Quentin Johnson goes 5 for 52. Devontae Parker goes 4 for 64. The tight ends, Gerald Everett probably had the best day, 4 for 44. Not bad for a tight end. Parham and Henry both had under 15 yards or under on 2 catches. That's disgusting. Dicker had 6 points. Rylan had 0. And I am really glad that in my streaming column, I picked both these defenses as my defensive streamers because they were both good. 25 for the Chargers, who were awesome, and 9 for the Patriots. And if the Jaguars put up more than 8 fantasy points this week or tonight, after going into my worst week of streamers last season, I am a Jags 8 points away from a perfect week this week. But um,
They're going to. That's since the offense is gross.
yeah, so if you listen to me on defenses here, you did great. Aside from that, if you had Gerald Everett, you were all right. Everyone else sucked, but well, I guess Zeke, but nobody started Zeke. But
Mm-hmm.
what were you expecting out of a game that was a what the hell is wrong with the Chargers? I expect you froze again.
Yeah, I was frozen with you. Are you frozen? So yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
a bit of both. I was
I
just
looked.
waiting. I was like,
It was weird because I looked at him like I could see him slightly move. I'm like, I don't think he's frozen. I'm like, am I frozen? All right, sorry. What do you think here?
yeah, it's just like a matrix glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chargers get Denver next week, and that's not great for them either. So this offense is it's really asking Justin Herbert to do a freaking lot, and sometimes he's able to do it, sometimes he's not. It's just like they have no explosive players. Eckler, I don't know, man. I love Eckler, but it's just rough. And even Keenan Allen, you know what the type of player he is. Like he's not going to basically take a catch and take it 80 yards a house. That's not Keenan Allen. That's not what he does. Interesting thing I think about this is Quentin Johnson saw like his career high in catches, his career high in yards, almost career high in like across the board. Quentin Johnson's coming on because like they have no one else. So you want to take a flyer on someone? Take a flyer on Quentin Johnson. Like it's actually he's been semi decent these last few weeks. So it may not work out, but like with these offenses, there's just nothing else. Like, you know how these Gerald Everett is. You know who Daryl Parham is. The tight ends with New England, just no thank you. I'm not doing that. And yeah, 100%. I'm going to do with Zeke. So if Ramondre's out, like, Zeke's going to see a ton of work. He saw basically almost like 90% of the snaps once Ramondre left and 60% of the routes. Like, he was very much involved in that offense. So if you need throw a running back, like, go get Zeke, because if Ramondre's out, Zeke's going to be very viable, at least in that offense.